I'm just extremely delighted to be here, and I was really honest in my praise last night over dinner. We commissioned Thai Tampa chapter 2 years ago when I was on the Thai Global Board of Trustees along with Vish, and we commissioned 4 chapters, and of the 4, you are the best. Thai Tampa, absolutely the best. Very, very well. So again, thanks, and really honored to be here. I'd like to commend Kiran Patel, Dr. Patel, whose video you saw. Of course, Kunal, the dynamo behind Thai Tampa. Then Ashok, our president. Then Rajesh, you see me running around and doing all kind of stuff. And Ramesh, not Rajesh. We have too many Rajas in India, So, and of course, in Cash, our executive director here, the Thai board, and all 40-some plus of you, the Thai charter members. So, congratulations, and thank you again for having me here. Let me give you a little bit, my own personal background in very brief. Thanks for the generous introduction, Kunal. But I came to America in 1967, at age 22. So if you're a math genius, you can figure out how old I am. It has been a wonderful journey. Going to graduate school, taking a job in the computer industry, moving into management, like after only being 2 years, into the job. So like I was 25 years old and I'm being made manager. So I go to my boss and he said, well, we're going to make you manager. I said, gee, a foreigner, suspect, doesn't know the language, doesn't know the culture, is this a great country or what? And I'm telling you, America indeed is a great country. You've never been disappointed with America. So, thank you. I met my wife, in Minneapolis. That's where I started my first job. She had come from India with a green card to work for a bank, and I had come as a student. We met. Our 2 daughters were born over there. We now have 2 daughters and a son, and we have 3 grandkids. And so on a personal level, I'm married to the same wife now for almost like 44 years now, next February. So that's another accomplishment that I'm very proud of the family, okay? So thank you. So Thai story, very simple. Those of us from the Indus region or the South Asia or Indian region, we came to America in the 60s and 70s. And we really, honest to goodness, we succeeded beyond our wildest imagination in America. We had no idea that this country would be so warm, so hospitable, and give everybody a chance. So 22 years ago in Silicon Valley, a lot of us, they came from, they came through New York, they came from, from Florida, they came through, Texas, you name it, California. And we kind of gather around and say, gee, wouldn't that be nice if we form a society and help anyone who wants to succeed as entrepreneurs? And that was the mission, and we do that in a purely volunteer basis. So it's a volunteer, we all have regular day jobs and careers and lives, but we have devoted ourselves to fostering entrepreneurship globally, and that's what TIE is really all about. And the other beauty about this organization is, it is the only nonprofit that I know in the entire world that promotes for-profit ventures. A nonprofit promoting for-profit ventures. So this is not about charity, this is not about all the stuff that you see, but it's about, even you saw Desh's, you heard Desh's comments, okay? The social entrepreneurship initiative that he has launched, and I'm part of, one of the programs, Akshapatra, it is not about charity, it is about empowering people, enabling people. Let them use the business and entrepreneurship techniques to create wealth and to build communities and to give back and to support the next generation. So this is really one good thing about TIE. So who is TIE in a way? So we invite people who are successful and generous. Success can be very easily verified. You are a top researcher at the university, renowned professor in academia. You are a successful business executive, you've been written all over, or you are a good entrepreneur, create a job opportunity. So that's the easily verifiable fact. What is not easily verifiable is your generosity. Are you really generous with your time? Are you really generous? Are you really willing to help others in an unselfish manner? And that's where we spend a lot of our time vetting, our prospective charter members, and that's why we call them charter members. So they are the ones who form the core of the nucleus of TIE.
So TIE charter members are the ones who sit at the core, at the nucleus, and they serve as attractants to all the other people who want to be entrepreneurs. And all the other people who say, well, I need to hang out with this pair, the pair of successful executives and professionals and businessmen, entrepreneurs, and those who really aspire to be. And we call them as our sponsors. I know many of you are in this room, so I want to commend you and thank you for being a sponsor of TIE, because without your financial support, TIE will not prosper anywhere. So anyway, so let me tell you now, in my experience, in America, what I see as the state of entrepreneurship. Some of the data you may know, some of you may not know. America by far is the most enterprising country on the face of the earth. Most enterprising on the face of the earth. 6 million new Americans every year, they start their own businesses. There are 6 million people. Now that's only 2%. So all of you who are in this room, you should thank yourself and that you're so privileged that you have taken the journey to be an entrepreneur, to start a company. The fact that you left your comfort zone and came out to start a company, you are in the top 2% of the people who really take the risk. So of the 6 million people who start businesses, most of them, they get funded by their friends, their family, their local bank, and they, on the average, about $10,000. $10,000, they start a business. So it's about $60 billion some dollars gets invested, this way. But of that, there are 50,000 every year, they get funded by what you call angel capital. And average angel funded company raises $600,000. So there's $30 billion additional money that gets deployed by angel investors in America. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of angels in this room. So thank yourself, commend yourself for being a part of this ecosystem. But the picture even gets even better, or narrower, if you wish. Out of those 50,000, only 4,000 plus people get venture money. And that money also is about 30 billion. This year is a kind of anomaly because we already are at 22 billion in the first half of this year in terms of venture capital. But on the average, for the last several years, it was $30 billion funds about 4,000 companies. So, but take a look at the impact of this system. The impact is very simply stated, is a 0.2%, $30 billion or so is about 0.2% of the GDP. It is responsible today for 10% of the jobs in America are created by venture-backed companies. And even it gets better. 20% of GDP contribution comes from venture-backed companies. So you're talking about the most efficient use of capital, despite all the blockbuster failures that you read about in the papers, that venture-backed company, they bit the dust, entrepreneurs fail, they don't go anywhere. This is still the most efficient way to deploy capital. So this is what's happening in the venture capital, and but venture capital, again, will not exist if the entrepreneurs didn't exist. So those of you in the room, please, take comfort in the fact that there's a lot of money available. All VCs, everybody looking for, that top entrepreneur who could go and make a difference and create a blockbuster successes. The other point I want to kind of just mention here is also about immigrants. How many of you in this room are not born in America? Look at that. This is you. Immigrants made America. And America made the immigrants. So this is a cycle that just continues even to this date. And every state, every county, every city, every geography in America is filled with immigrants. And these are the people who are coming, they say, hey, we have nothing to risk because we already risked everything that we had. We decided to come to America to seek a better future, a better life. So they are, they are very motivated because they have nothing to lose. So, and this is happens, so even for the people, those people who are native born, and native born means like, you were the second generation, maybe immigrants or third, that's the passion that you want to have. You have to, if you decide to do something, go with full gusto. Just go, jump in both feet, and you'll be amazed how help is available. If you can only declare yourself that you are trying to do something and you are seeking help, help will come. Most people want to help. Most people do not want to hurt you. So it is quite okay to be enthusiastic and talk about business to anybody you can come across. However, having seen so many entrepreneurs and having funded so many, there are still some basic things that I would like to just share with you, and then I'll take some questions from the audience. Actually, one of the books I'll recommend, this book is called Venture Capitalists at Work, How VCs Identify and Build Billion-Dollar Successes. There are 35 venture capitalists being interviewed in this book, and it is basically pretty much like an interview fashion, so it's really not a book, it's more like a compendium of interviews. And yours truly in this book, I don't know why they picked me out of the 8,000 venture capitalists who are all over, but I'm one of the 35 people in here. It is a very, very good book. This book, when it came out, was an Amazon bestseller 2 years ago. And more entrepreneurs read the book than the venture capitalists did, because entrepreneurs want to know, how do VCs think? How do they fund companies? And let me learn something from them. But in a very simple terms, I'll just give you only a very simple tips that you should just follow. If you want to take a note, take a note. But simply stated, what we look for, every VC, whether it's angel or whether it is institutional venture capital, doesn't really matter. They're looking for clarity and strength of your business plan. Two things, clarity and strength. And let me just kind of point out, this business is a very logical business, okay? Yeah, sure, you talk about passion, energy, enthusiasm, drive, all the soft things we talk about, but in a way, it's fairly logical. First and foremost thing that you want to start out with, is there a pressing need that you want to satisfy in the marketplace? Pressing need, not lukewarm need. Because if there's pressing need, somebody says, if somebody can solve my problem, I'm ready to spend money, I'm ready to spend time. So look for the pressing need. Second is, once you have really understood, try to find out how else is that pressing need being satisfied today. In the business school jargon, that's called competition. So if you cannot identify at least 6 people trying to address the same pressing need that you have identified, that means you have not done your homework. So be very, very thorough and robust. Go do research, go talk to other people. Try to identify what those 6 or more people are trying to do. Third is, now what is your approach to satisfy that pressing need? I'm talking about approach. I'm not talking about technology, I'm not talking about business. What is your approach? So overall approach, you should be able to define your approach. Fourth is, what does it take to build a business? Never start saying, well, I have only, $500,000 or $1 million, what can I do with it? No. Just identify what does it take to build a business. First and foremost is team, people. And start with you. Who are you? What is your strength? What's your weakness? Be brutally honest. Because most entrepreneurs, especially the technical type, they think that, just because I know engineering, I can read up about accounting and law and HR. No. You are a good engineer, that's what you should be. Don't try to be all the other people, try to team with those people. So identify the team first. How much capital you think it will require? And how will you take this product that you now have or service to the market? Those are the 3 very basic ingredients you got to identify. And the last thing, or the 5th thing is, what does it bring in? It had to bring in revenue and it had to generate profit. If you have no profit motive, you have no right to win business. So you should be able to, 5 points, you can put them on 5 PowerPoint slides, or maybe 10, no more than that. And you should be able to spend no more than 2 minutes per to talk to anybody who wants to understand your business. Because most VCs, most investors, they'll give you an hour of time, but basically in 10 minutes, they've already have decided whether they really want to have a conversation further with you or not. So your number one, so put the plan together, put your heart into it, and your only mission is when you meet a VC or potential investor, angel, just to secure the next meeting. Because if you get invited for the next meeting, that means you have made it. Because it is nothing but how do you impress, how do you present yourself, and that's how it works. So there's no need to have elaborate business plans. I see people, okay, they have hired accountants and writing business plans, doing all the projections and cash flow analysis. It's all bogus. So there's no need to go into that detail. Just have those very 5 simple, logical way. Pressing need, how they're being addressed today, what's your approach and why it is far superior than all the competing approaches? What does it take to build a business, and what does it bring in? If you put that in that fashion and just guide the conversation, so when you meet, you'll get distracted because the question will pop up right away. Address the question very quickly or punt it, but make sure that you control the agenda. You have only 10 minutes. Make sure that 10 minutes you have told the whole story. Because if you have not told the story, you just got stuck on describing technology and then you lost all your time, that means it is your fault, not the person who has the question. So you have to kind of take charge but be able to tell the story. So I think with that, because with short time, so I'd just like to maybe just take some questions. But my last parting shot is to succeed in business or life, you all need to have a mentor. And also, you all can be a mentor. So think of this way, be a mentor and have a mentor. And people are available. Okay, thank you.